Okay, so after doing the last screencast, I thought it would be fun to do one last screencast for the week and kind of give you guys a bonus. Now, I'm going to go over some advanced topics here, but for those of you who follow along and see what I'm doing here, you'll see the power of this and kind of be excited about what I'm going to show you. If you don't quite understand this, it's okay. Like I said, this is a little bit advanced at this point, but for those who do get it, it will be extremely valuable in helping you debug your code. So I was inspired by a student this last week and kind of stole an idea about and wrote a program using basically a program to kind of calculate what your salary is going to be after tithing. So I thought that was a fun idea, so I went ahead and replicated it myself. But what I really wanted was a program with multiple variables. As you can see here, I've got several variables in here, 5 of them, all initialized as numbers, most of them to 0, one of them to zero point 0.1. That 0 in there is unnecessary, but it doesn't hurt to have it. So and it helps clarify for me what it does. So it's okay to have that in there. And then I've got a method in here with calculate, which does some arithmetic on those. And I've got 2 text fields and a button, which calls this method or this function when it's called. And what I want to show you guys is basically a mechanism inside the developer tools that allows you to run the equivalent of the desk checks you guys have been doing inside of developer tools and watch what happens as you go. Now in the videos you watched, you learned a little bit about breakpoints, and so to do this I'm going to go ahead and set a breakpoint on line 16 here so that the code pauses while it's running through and I can show you what's going on. The other thing I'm going to do to set things up is I am going to set up these things called watch expressions over here. And a watch expression is basically allows you to tell the developer tools that you want to keep track of what's going on with some of these variables. And developer tools will keep track of what's going on with them and show you what the current value is as you step through debug your code. So to do that, you just hit the little plus symbol and you can start to type. And as you see, if I type in wage, it actually tries to complete it because it knows what my variables are. And then I can just hit tab and then enter. And then I can add the next one. I'm going to go ahead and add hours. And I'm going to add tithing. And I'm going to add one last one. We're going to add my money. And you'll notice here that immediately they're all set to 0. And just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and add tithing percent, if I can type it correct, and you'll notice that it is set to 0.1. So what's going on here is the page is loaded, and as we've seen in the past, everything that's outside of the function and inside the script tag gets run. So all of this stuff has already run since the page is loaded, and we initialize them all to 0 and 0.2. So all of these things already have a value. But what I'm going to show you now is that we can watch what happens to these as it moves through our code by using the breakpoints and the step through debugging that we talked about. So we'll go ahead and say in here that I've worked 40 hours, and just for fun, let's say I make $78 an hour. That would be nice. And we'll go ahead and run it. And I hit calculate, and the first thing it does is it comes in down here and it pauses the code at the breakpoint that we did. And now this line hasn't run yet. And so in order to make it go through it, the highlighted line is the one that is going to run as you move forward. So we'll go ahead and say step over the next function. And so this is going to do something to hours. You notice hours is 0 right now. And as soon as we run this, hours gets set to 40, and it pulls the hours out of this field. And as the next one, we're going to set the wage, and wage gets pulled in at 78. And then now we're going to calculate my money as wage times hours, and should tell me what my weekly paycheck is going to look like for my 40 hours a week. And it calculates it at $3,000, $3,120, and saves that in my money. So right there we know that my money is equal to that. And then we're going to go ahead and calculate the tithing on that amount of money, which is $312. Nice easy math right there. Most of us can see that. And then the last step here I just wanted to show you was the fact that we're going to take my money and make it equal to my money minus tithing. And just watch what happens to my money up here, which is currently 3120. And as I run it, it drops down to 2808. So it subtracted that 312 from the previous value. And then if we continue through the code, we can see it go ahead and output the data to the div. And notice that the 2808 gets added up here to my output. And as we step through, it finishes it up and then finishes up. And there it is. You got to see how you stepped through each line of code like we do in the desk checks, and you actually saw the value of each variable like we do in the desk checks. So I hope that was kind of fun for some of you who are curious as to what these watch expressions were, and have fun with it. See you.